Before Ava was ever called Ghost, she was a little girl who ran back into a burning lab so her father wouldn't be alone. Ghost isn't a trauma story. She's a survival story, and most of it happened off-screen. In the late 1980s, former S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist Ava Starr was in Argentina conducting his own quantum experiments. Moments before an explosion, Starr would evacuate Ava and her mother from the lab. Chaos follows. Ava and her mother never make it out in time. Seconds later, the lab is gone. Ava survives. Her parents don't. She's been physically altered, but she doesn't understand the cost yet. The accident leaves her without her mom, her dad, answers, or any protection. Dr. Bill Foster, one of her father's former colleagues, tries to protect her. Others at S.H.I.E.L.D. see her as an opportunity instead. Following the collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ava Starr is once again left without structure or protection. She continues as a stealth operative on Black Ops missions, but without any support, her condition begins to get worse. With no one left to manage her instability, Ava's physical form is deteriorating. For her, these were never gifts. Instead, she viewed them as
my affliction.
Dr. Foster takes her in and builds a chamber to slow her decay. During a failed negotiation between Hope Van Dyne and Sonny Birch, Ghost makes her first appearance. Her singular objective was to steal a quantum component that could stabilize her phasing. Despite interference from Scott Lang, Ava escapes with the component and takes Hank Pym hostage. Against Hope, Ghost fights defensively, creating distance rather than pursuing a kill. That changes the moment she comes face to face with Pym. For the first time, Ava has leverage. She demands his shrunken quantum lab. Hank has no choice but to comply. Ava takes the lab along with the component back to her residence. She removes her suit and slowly forces herself into the containment chamber, hunched and struggling with every step. The chamber releases controlled waves of quantum energy, not to enhance her abilities, but to keep her physical form intact. The residence housing the chamber predates modern Pym tech. It carries the residue of an earlier life tied to Ava's past rather than her handlers. That night, Ant-Man and the Wasp attempt to break in to recover the lab. Ava senses them immediately and incapacitates both. When Scott wakes up, he finds himself restrained alongside Hope and Hank. Ava greets him calmly. She doesn't see herself as a villain. For her, this is fighting to survive.
You don't need the suit to, go through things.
No. It just helps me control it.
Ava's condition allows her to phase through solid matter, a process known as quantum phasing.
Wow, that's amazing. That's like some David Copperfield shit.
The suit regulates her molecular density. Without it, her body destabilizes completely. Ava shows a lighter side of herself with Scott. He makes her laugh. She tells him she won't hurt him unless she has to. Her interest isn't emotional. It's all functional. Scott carries a sort of quantum connection to Janet Van Dyne, who's been trapped in the quantum realm for 30 years. For Scott, the moment is a little unsettling. For Ava, it's a brief return to something normal. That illusion collapses the moment her afflictions reveal themselves. Her pain snaps her right back into survival mode.
Let's wake up the rest of the gang and get this over with, shall we?
Ava lashes out, kicks the back of Hope and Hank's chairs. When Hope warns her to never touch her father again, Ava insists she's being merciful. Hank doesn't understand what she means. That's when Bill Foster shows up. Ava explains why Hank matters to her, why her father's research was taken from him.
You had him fired. Oh, and discredited for good measure.
In Ava's mind, everything that followed traces back to that moment.
Every cell in my body is torn apart and stitched back together over and over every day.
She wants Hank Pym eliminated. Dr. Foster stepped in, not to excuse Hank, but to stop Ava from acting too soon. He urges her to watch instead of act. That's when Ava learns what Hank was building. A quantum tunnel leading to the quantum realm, an escape designed for Janet, Hank's wife. Ava and Bill believe Janet's decades-long exposure has saturated her with quantum energy. This very energy could stabilize Ava's failing body. Hank insists extracting it would destroy Janet. Foster's belief is that Scott's connection could lead them to her first. This enrages Hank, leading to a distraction, and ultimately the Pym family escapes with the lab and component. Bill tells Ava the suit and the chamber are no longer helping. Without Pym's lab, she has weeks to live. Desperation sets in. Ava suggests going after Scott's daughter. Bill draws the line right there.
You said you could fix me. You promised.
I know I will, but not like that.
Ava isn't threatening him. She's pleading. Realizing she's running out of time, her phasing spikes. Her emotions don't cause the affliction, but they heighten it. Ava accepts Bill's terms. They pursue another option. At ex-con headquarters, Sonny Birch interrogates Scott's friends. After giving Luis truth serum, Birch asks for Scott's location.
Well, where is Scott Lang? Literally speaking!
Oh, the woods.
The woods?
Ava doesn't attack. She appears. 6 grown men, stricken with fear. Luis tells her Scott's location. She vanishes without a trace. No one stops her. They barely even speak. Birch panics and contacts his FBI mole, giving up Scott's location.
Luis warns Scott just in time.
Scott is able to escape.
But Hank and Hope are arrested.
During the transfer, Ava incapacitates the mole and recovers the lab. Bill tells Ava they can begin the extraction, but he hesitates.
Wait. I've got days until I'm dead. We're doing this, Bill. Now.
She's panicking. This isn't about Janet anymore. It's about her clock running out. Bill hesitates because he still sees some options, but Ava doesn't. All she sees is that clock hitting 0. She moves forward. As the tunnel starts up, Hank's ants disrupt the process. Ava confronts Scott, who serves as a distraction while the lab changes hands across San Francisco. The chase leaves damage behind. People are getting hurt. Bill acknowledges the possibility of harming Janet and tries to stop Ava.
Almost ready for extraction.
Please, stop! People are getting hurt!
Everything hurts. Don't talk to me about pain.
Foster pleads with her because Janet's a scientist and a person who can help.
Oh, she will help. Right now. And if she dies, she dies.
No.
He believes there has to be another way. Ava shoves him aside. For her,
This is the way.
she activates the chamber and begins the extraction process. At Janet's expense, Ava starts to heal. Lang and Hope interrupt the extraction, buying enough time for Janet and Hank to return from the quantum realm. Hope reunites with her mother, but Ava's destabilization continues. Hope is getting ready for another fight, but Janet stops her. Janet believes she can help Ava. Supercharged with quantum energy, Janet reaches out to Ava.
It hurts. It always hurts.
A tear runs down Ava's cheek as she stabilizes. For the first time since childhood, the pain stops. Relief hits Ava all at once. She is embracing. She's not fighting. She's relieved. Sirens approach. The FBI is closing in. Bill and Ava flee into Chinatown.
Leave me here.
We can make it.
You said it yourself. I've hurt people, but you haven't. Go, please.
Ava refuses to let Bill take the fall for her. She knows the world views her as a liability, but Bill doesn't hesitate. Ava holds on to him, not in fear, but in gratitude. In an effort to slow Ava's deterioration, the Pym family launches a mission to retrieve quantum hailing particles from the quantum realm. Scott enters the realm to secure the particles, but he's unable to complete the mission. Thanos' snap erases the Pym family from existence, trapping Lang beyond reach. It's unclear whether Ava or Dr. Foster survived the snap, but as far as Bill Foster goes, he has not been seen or heard from since we last saw him with Ava in Chinatown. After the world has been reshaped by the Blip, Ava now has to navigate this new world. With her phasing powers now under control, outcast Ava Starr, aka Ghost, has found a new life working as a deadly operative for Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
That's a terrible idea.
Ava's survival becomes tied to something familiar. It's not freedom, it's control. Once again, her life depends on an institution that needs her more than it protects her. And institutions don't keep what they can't control forever. As scrutiny closes in, Val shifts from managing assets to eliminating risk. Ghost isn't being deployed anymore. She's being sent to disappear. Long before she understands what's happening, her identity has already been reduced to being labeled a former S.H.I.E.L.D. reject. She's wanted in 15 nations. Under the direction of De Fontaine, Ava is sent on a mission with a single objective: Taskmaster's elimination. What Ava isn't told is that she's also been marked.
Former Black Widow Yelena Belova and John Walker are sent under similar orders.
Each is positioned to eliminate the other or die inside the facility. Ava's reappearance marks a visible shift. Her suit is no longer designed for containment. It's designed for combat and stealth operations. Her phasing is no longer something to manage. It's a weapon integrated into her movements. When Ava encounters Yelena, she's defensive and calculated.
Stay out of my way.
Her offense is designed to create distance, not death. Taskmaster is different. Taskmaster is the objective. Ava eliminates her without hesitation or remorse. Not because she's become cruel, but because the conditions that once demanded restraint no longer exist. After Ava pulls the trigger, the operation collapses. As the surviving operatives recognize the trap, Walker tries to reassert control. He orders Ava and Yelena to restrain themselves.
Wow. No. And goodbye.
At this stage, Ava does not view the others as allies. She's trapped in the vault with them, but survival is still an individual problem. That changes the moment sound-based countermeasures disrupt her phasing. For the first time, Ava can't escape on her own. As the vault begins the incineration process, everyone searches for the source of the interference. Walker is able to destroy the device. Ava's phasing returns. With the countdown underway, Ava gets out immediately, leaving everyone else behind. Inside, everyone accepts that she isn't coming back. The heat rises. Countdown continues. Seconds before incineration, the door opens. Everyone escapes.
Hey, didn't think you'd come back, thanks.
I had to. Someone cut the power to the elevator.
For her, it's out of necessity. Survival has always meant leaving first and trusting last. This instinct isn't cruelty, it's conditioning. When independence fails, cooperation becomes the only remaining option. Free from the incinerator, the operatives coordinate their escape together, alongside a civilian named Bob. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine monitors the breach remotely and responds by deploying armed forces to detain them. Following their escape, the group doesn't unify. Instead, Walker escalates. Bob withdraws, Yelena mediates, Ava remains disengaged, observing rather than participating as the others begin to define themselves. Ava sets limits on her abilities.
I'd have to know where I'm going, because I've never been able to hold it longer than a minute, so I'd just get lost in an ocean of dirt and then I'd be crushed to death.
Making it clear her powers have always come with consequences. Bob has an escape plan, and survival requires cooperation. Back to back, everyone's locked in. Every step requires trust. Jabs fly, old stories surface, but his plan works until they reach the exit and see what's waiting on the other side. Walker wants to be leader, credentials, authority, and a past that literally almost just got them killed. Ava and nobody else there is impressed. They've heard this talk before. She's told the plan and disappears without explanation, reinforcing what everyone already expects of her. Each time she returns with a way out already in motion.
Second time he came back.
This was the only way out, okay? That's all.
She doesn't name it loyalty. Survival is the only language she trusts. Bob sacrifices himself to create an opening. Yelena, Ava, and Walker escape the facility undetected. Ava acknowledges the weight of what she's done, but doesn't linger on it. Yelena frames their lives as disposable, and Ava doesn't argue. When Walker talks about inevitability, Ava cuts through it, pointing out what he still has waiting beyond the mission. The contrast is unspoken, but it's clear. The moment doesn't spark longing, but it does surface something Ava carries with her: the trauma of a life spent alone. Yelena's father, Alexei Shostakov, arrives to extract the operatives, drawing a lot of attention with his damaged limo. When he comments on Yelena's choice of allies, Ava dismisses the idea outright.
I find it best just to ignore him sometimes.
Impressive friends you with them.
We are not friends, Alexei.
No, we're just disposable delinquents.
This isn't self-loathing, it's recognition. Their escape is brief. A convoy forces Ava into action, but once again her phasing is neutralized, stripping away the advantage she relies on most. Moments later, the Winter Soldier dismantles the convoy, but he doesn't rescue the operatives. He subdues and captures them, with the intent of using them as evidence against Valentina, until Bucky receives an SOS call to stop Project Sentry. He offers an alliance, but they turn it down. When Barnes speaks about running from the past, the words land differently on Ava. She doesn't respond, but the recognition is visible. For the first time, she isn't just seeing the pattern she's trapped in. She sees the distance between herself and everyone else. The people around her reflect everything she doesn't have. Listening to Walker talk about a wife and a child, watching Yelena with her father, Ava doesn't envy them. She doesn't reach for it either. What surfaces instead is the trauma she carries, the quiet weight of wanting to belong without knowing how. The group agrees to stop Val and save Bob. They breach the watchtower, neutralize security, and are invited upstairs.
Jesus, you guys, I literally just put that drywall in. I left the door unlocked for you. Come up.
Valentina reframes Bob as the liability. She isolates him psychologically, positioning the group against him. Yelena tries to intervene, but her objections are ignored. Once activated, Sentry dismantles the team with ease. Every operative is overwhelmed. Resistance barely registers. By the time they exit the building, everyone's in pain, no one has a plan, and Ava's usual distance no longer protects her. For the first time in her life, cooperation isn't imposed by an institution, demanded by a handler, or even framed as leverage. This isn't redemption, it's adaptation under pressure. After their loss, Yelena gets real honest with everybody.
Ava, you're not a hero. You're not even a good person. Bitch. See?
Each of them goes their separate ways, and Val has lost control of Sentry. New York is in danger. People are vanishing, helicopters are falling out of the sky, cranes are collapsing, and buildings are all coming undone. One by one, each of them saves anyone they can. A massive piece of cement almost crushes a woman, but Walker steps in and saves her. But alone, he can only hold that piece in place. Ghost steps in to assist, the rest of the group follows suit, and New York applauds. For a brief moment, Ava is shocked. Not because they're being applauded, but because something she carried for a long time finally settles. That need to belong. The Thunderbolts step up because it's the right thing to do. And New York notices, so does Valentina. As Century's darker half, the Void, continues to consume the city, people vanish without warning. The Thunderbolts focus on clearing the streets. As New York falls further into darkness, Yelena walks towards it.
I'm going after her.
And then what?
If she did that, she did it for a reason.
Well, what if she's dead?
What if she isn't?
Ava wants to follow her, not because they're close and not because anything got resolved. Earlier, it was Ava who left Yelena behind in the vault, and just moments ago, they were still at odds. And yet, when the cost becomes clear, Ava volunteers to enter the Void. Not because she believes she'll survive, but because she recognizes the moment. She's done this before. Now that she's found belonging, she's willing to do what it takes to keep it. The darkness consuming New York reveals itself as a maze of interconnected shame rooms, each one worse than the last. Yelena and Bob are overwhelmed as the Void closes in on them, but Ava makes the save. One by one, each of them enters the Void after her. Together, they're able to pull Bob back from the darkness.
Thank you, guys. Really.
Of course. Here we are, Shane's the lead electronic Thunderbolts.
It's not the name that matters. It's what it represents. Ava has what she's never had before. A team. And now, she isn't willing to let it go without a fight. The Thunderbolts move through Bob's shame rooms one by one. Escape isn't viable by just outrunning the darkness. The only way out is to stop Bob from falling further into it. They surround him and show him he's no longer alone. Together, they're able to pull him back into reality. The darkness lifts, New York returns to the light, and families are reunited. With the city stabilized, only one problem is left. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Barnes insists that they bring her in. Alexei and Ava would rather end her. Valentina makes the next move herself. She lures them into a press conference and introduces the world to the new Avengers. All of them were caught off guard. None of them asked for this, but they accepted their roles anyway. The last time Ghost is seen, she stands alongside the new Avengers, not reflecting on who they are, but how they're perceived. Before the question can be resolved, an alert interrupts the conversation. An interstellar vessel enters their orbit. Who was aboard that ship will be revealed in Avengers Doomsday. Ava Starr was never chasing power. She was chasing stability. Every decision she made was about staying intact in a world that kept tearing her apart. If she was misunderstood, it's because her survival was mistaken for cruelty. This wasn't the story of a villain. It was the story of someone who endured long enough to finally choose differently. Understanding Ghost means understanding that survival can look like violence when no other option exists. That was Ava's story so far. If this changed how you see Ghost, let me know what stood out to you. There's another story already waiting.